Uh, Good morning, students. So today you are once again welcomed on this online teaching program. I hope that you are enjoying it because it is quite suitable because you can listen according to your time, whenever you get time or whenever you feel free. You can keep on listening or enjoying the online program, and I hope that you are learning quite a lot by this method. And by now that you must have become accustomed to this kind of teaching because it is a new experience, and I hope that this coronavirus has made many disasters, but I hope that in the field of teaching, it has brought a revolution because earlier you have to cover a lot of distance to attend the classes, but now you can very relaxedly, very comfortably, you can listen the lectures in your cozy rooms and at your relaxed time. So, in the first part, the poet describes that there is a contradiction, there is a paradox in human nature. It is the characteristics of human nature that it is full of, you can say that, contradiction. The personality of man is divided between paradoxes, between contradictions. He is unable to decide when to act or take rest. This is a very common contradiction because sometimes we are so overjoyed that we continue to do that work and we neglect the rest, and sometimes we become so lazy that we keep on resting without caring that we have lost a lot of time. Sometimes he does such great acts, or that's why that he is compared to gods. He is he becomes such a kind person that his mercy is compared to God's. But on another occasion, he stoops. He becomes so low that even the animals seem better to him. So this is a very common contradiction because many good deeds are performed by him, but that he is compared to gods in one situation, but in another situation you see that he becomes so low, he stoops, he got down so low that we feel ashamed that we are human, that why we are alive. You see that when you, in the morning when you read the newspapers, you find all kind of news in that paper. Some news make you very high. You feel to be very, you can say that, proud that you are a human, that you are living in this age. But another news make you so nervous that this is the man that he did such a kind of heinous crime. So in this way, his mind is full of confusions. He forgets a very simple reality. Sometimes he forgets such a simple reality that those who are born, they should die one day. It's a very common fact. I think there is nothing so clear as it is that the person who is born, he must die one day. Either he dies, and the time and the place of his death is also fixed, which is written in his destiny, in his fate, and his ultimate time comes, which is fixed. But we forget that fact. We build, we make plans, we make schemes of ages as we think that we are going to live in this world forever. So this is a great confusion. This is a great paradox, or you can say the contradiction. Because when you go on a journey, you take few things with you, that because you know that after a short time you have to come back. Similarly, our stay in this world is not permanent. We are not going to live forever, but we make such plans, such schemes, such houses, and bank balance and all other things, that it seems that we are going to live forever. So this is one of the major contradictions. There are errors in his judgment. Judgment means when we take decisions. So our decisions are not, you can say that, are totally up to the mark, or you can say that perfect. Similarly, there is a chaos in his thought. Chaos means chaos. Chaos is used usually in a political situation when there is a chaos in the country, there is a chaos in the city, up and downs. You can say that there is a disorder, there is no order, अनुशासन नहीं है, disorder है, as happens when a great epidemic broke out or some great incident take place. So there is a chaos all over the city, all over the road. So like that. So similarly, there is a chaos in his thought and feelings. What is that mean? That there is no one feeling or thought coming to his mind. There is a flood of emotions and feelings regularly or intermittently comes in his mind. So his mind is full of ideas and feelings. So that's why there is no balance in his thinking. Sometimes he thinks so high, and sometimes he thinks quite low. Sometimes he thinks very high, but on other occasions he thinks far below. In this way, the personality of man is torn, is divided. Torn means is divided with contradictions. So you can say that how realistic and how logical the poet has analyzed the nature of man. He has discussed, he has pointed out the characteristics of man, nature. The rise and fall of his character and destiny abounds in his action. His rise and fall is inherent in his actions. So whatever he does or do is related in his actions. He is the master of great inventions. He has discovered great things. He is the master of great inventions, but at the same time, he becomes a victim of his own creation. Look at the big things, the atom bomb, which is made, the atomic energy has enlightened far off villages, but when it is used, when it is misused, it can destroy the cities or countries. So you can say that he is the master of inventions, but at the same time he becomes the victim of his own creations. You can say that great tragedies, railway accident, aeroplane crash take place regularly, which shows that there is a fault in that. He is the sole judge of truth, but at the same time he commits many mistakes. He is also the representative who says that I am the sole judge of truth. I can follow the truth. I am the only honor. I am the only person who is speaking the truth. But at the same time, he commits many mistakes. You can say that there are judges in the society. At the same time, there are criminals in the society. So there are parallel two category of men. One is the sole judge and the other is the criminal. In this way, the character of man is full of glory and laughter. When a man performs great deeds, he glorifies the whole mankind. But on the other hand, when he does shameful acts, he becomes the laughing stock of all the mankind. So in this way, his character is a puzzle to the world. Puzzle means paheli. He has become a puzzle to the world. No one can solve the mystery of man. Now, the mystery means that no one can predict what he can do, because sometimes he performs very high, sometimes he thinks very high, but the same man sometimes stoops or becomes so low that we are ashamed of saying him man. So in this way we can say that the poem An Essay of Man is a true representation of man. In this poem, the poet Alexander Pope explains in a rational, R-A-T-I-O-N-A, rational means logical manner, the contradictions of man's nature. But as you know that the aim of the poet is not to make fun of mankind or a particular person, because this is in this poem he is pointing out, he is explaining, he is describing the characteristics of whole mankind. So the poet is also included in that. But his way and his attitude is, his aim is to correct manners and behaviors of man, and by just showing his errors. For example, when we look in the mirror and we see that there is some dirt or other things, so we can make ourselves smart by cleaning the part which is affected. So similarly, this is the aim of the poet, to point out the errors of mankind, so that we can improve our attitude, our behavior, so that we become a good man. So in this way, the poem has a great moral force. Usually, the writers of neoclassical age is not in habit, is not their tradition to give a moral lesson. But Alexander Pope is distinct in this way, because in this poem, An Essay on Man, he has given a very important moral lesson, that we should behave according to our properties, according to our nature. You know that the nature is in contradiction, but when we are aware of our mistakes, so we should try to avoid that mistakes. We should try to keep ourselves away from the evils which has spoiled the society or our character. So that's why the thing that this poem is quite important. I hope that you would be motivated to read other poems of Alexander Pope. So I would recommend you that there is another poem, An Essay on Criticism, his poem, and there are other poems also, but there is a long poem, The Rape of the Lock. I hope that after finishing your syllabus, you would be try to look another poem of Pope, and I think that you would enjoy it. I hope that you have understood the poem, and if you have any queries, any difficulties, you can send me your message on my email or my WhatsApp group. I hope that you have understood it. Okay, thank you.